The Jonathan Wier Show.
Happy Monday to all 11 of you. It's the Jonathan Wier Show here from Rod's house. Once again, our third show, and I just want to quickly, at the beginning of the show, thank you guys so much for continuing to support and listen to the show. It means the world to us. I can tell you right now, we have had more listens to the first two episodes of this strictly off-air podcast version of the Jonathan Wier Show than we had to any episode at any time ever of the Jonathan Wier Show when we were on air.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So thank you very much. Really do appreciate it.
Very cool.
Looks like things are going well. And keep telling people about it, I guess. The only way they're going to hear about it is
well, if you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, keep your damn mouth shut.
Yeah. And if you need to know how a podcast works, how are you listening to this? I was going to start telling people they could use podcast
go
apps.
Get the podcast.
Rod, what's going on in your life? Let's move on. How you doing? How you doing, buddy? Because
I'm doing okay.
We spent a good portion talking about my life on the first episode,
and it's a disaster.
that is not fair.
And no, it's funny.
Disasters.
No,
disasters actually are doing a lot better than what my life is right now.
To call my life crazy like monkey shit is insulting monkey shit.
My life is like if a warehouse filled with manure caught fire, and then to try to put it out, the fire department mixed gasoline with garbage water and sprayed it onto the fire.
Because they're totally known to do that sort of thing.
Hey, look, I worked for the Prairie, no, not Prairie Village, French Village Fire Department in Illinois, and they totally would have done that. And their philosophy was like, oh, it's in that part of town, let it burn.
So, yeah.
Let it burn.
That saves us from coming back later.
Yeah.
No, like I said, your life is a mess, and it's really funny because you're sad. And
Not sad.
But things aren't bad for me. Just like I've been unemployed for a while. I finally got all hooked up through this Uber and Lyft stuff.
Yeah, you're driving for
was
Uber.
A mess.
The funny thing is the day after you left KMBZ, I was like, oh, you should just do Uber. Like, my brother does Uber for food, and it's great. And it's not for a lack of trying that you're just now on Uber. Like, you had to jump through more hoops to do this.
Yeah, that's why I was joking online about it. I have been investigated, vetted. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do the body cavity search, but I insisted. I had to pay extra, but I insisted.
Let me ask you, is it like this for everybody who tries to Uber, or
I don't
was it
think
just
so.
you?
I do not believe so. Here's the thing. When I first left the station and you were like, you should do Uber, and I was like, why should I do? And you're like, oh, you're perfect for it. You talk to people. It's fun, blah, blah. I was like, okay. Have you seen my car? It's the birthplace of tetanus. Like, I can't, I cannot, no.
Your car... It's weird because your car defined you, I think, as a person.
Toaster, yeah.
Where it was, for most people who saw it, they went, what is that?
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah,
right? I think that's you. I think that's your personality.
It's broken
your personality
and wrong
is grotesque, but very compelling.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's you. That's you in a nutshell.
Okay. So anyways, no, I bought the Brave Little Toaster brand spanking new. And it was actually 2004. They had just come out. It's a 2005 model, but I was all excited. I bought it and immediately began to treat it like shit. And the only reason I had only owned my whole life, I had only owned, like Ford, Chevy, or Dodge used beat up things, trucks, cars. Like, I never had a nice car.
Right.
And a car was like, I love cars. I have an affinity for, hot rods and classic cars and all this stuff.
I have an affinity for hot rods,
I bet
too.
you do, baby.
Yeah. You missed me so much, did you?
Oh, I did.
Not because we hung out all the time, but we didn't record us hanging out all the time.
Yeah, I saw you plenty, but it's just
too much, really. For as far as I'm concerned, too much.
Anyways, but yeah, I always had crap cars, and treating a car like crap was no big deal, whatever. Right. So I had this brand spanking new car, and it was this little bitty Toyota thing, and it took me a while to get the hang of. It's not made out of metal. Mm-hmm. It's not, whatever, 12,000 pounds. It doesn't do great off road. After a while, it did, but anyways. So yeah, I treated the car like crap, but then at some point it was just fun to treat it like crap. Drove it for 15 years, and it finally blew a rod. It was burning oil. Yeah. It was burning oil so fast I couldn't keep up with it, and I was putting oil in it every other day. And was driving down the road, and it was storming like hell, raining, and all do going over to my buddy's house. And it suddenly sounded like I ran over a chunk of metal in the road. And as soon as I heard the noise, I just blew a fucking rod. Mm. And it started going, and I got off at the exit and coasted as far as I could away from the highway and just sat there.
Right.
Like, shit. So anyways, called a tow truck. That was a whole... there were literally tornado sirens going off. I cracked the window because it was getting hot in there, but it was raining. I mean, raining like hell, and the car's rocking, and I'm sitting there waiting on this tow truck, and I cracked the windows so I can breathe, and I'm like, what is that noise? Oh, those are tornado sirens I'm hearing. Lovely.
Your life and the problems that you go through. I swear to God, it's the only thing that cheers me up. I think it's the only reason I'm friends with you. Because no matter how bad my day is, if I'm having a really bad day, I can call you, and on a normal day, you're having as bad a day as me.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. On a normal day, if I'm nobody's calling me back, and it's frustrating, and I just don't know what to do for money, and you're like, we just sold our son. But we're doing good because we have money now. But
it's good. It's good.
Did you know white slavery's still a thing?
I had no idea.
Really?
But hoping to buy him back.
Ironically, his name is Roman, so it's weird that you sold him. Usually they were the ones selling. Hey, point is, your life sucks. Continue.
So the car's dead. I'm screwed that way. I didn't know what to do. And here again, you weren't the only one. Everyone I was talking to at the time was like, dude, you should totally drive Uber. It's really easy to do. You just sign up and then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, here's the problem. I don't have a car. So Tabitha has a Honda Element. So I'm like, fine. I went online. I was like, can you Uber in a Honda Element? And found two different blog posts from guys who Uber in a Honda Element.
Right.
And one of them talked about, I keep an old man cane in the car. So if somebody leaves the door open, I can pull it shut from that side.
Sure.
And
because it has a van door, a sliding door.
It's got the door and a half, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like a suicide door that you can't open.
Technically, it's three doors, but it works like a four door.
Yeah,
right. But it's a really convenient big door.
So yeah, it's basically a double open van door on both sides.
Right.
And real easy to get in and out of. It's actually huge back seat. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, sure, fine. I sent all the stuff in, and there was a bunch of issues with my driving record. I'm like, why is there issues with my driving record? And so this annoyed me. There's a company that is hired by Uber to do their background checks. Right? Uber, you say, hey, I want to drive for Uber. They go, okay, fine. And they, to this company, say, hey, company, go do a background check on this guy, see if he can drive for us. They go, okay, fine. Those fuckers emailed me and said, you need to go get a background, driver's background, driving record and background from the DMV and send it to us.
But
I'm like, that's your fucking job. That's what you do.
Right.
And so there was some issue with it, and they couldn't get it. And I'm like, damn, what have I done? So I went down. Of course, that was finally got it. And the whole thing was, I don't know if you remember here a while back, I had gotten a ticket in Chicago, all kinds of crazy shit. My driver's license was put on hold. The cop pulls me over, thinks it's suspended. I get a driving on suspended driver's license ticket, even though my driver's license wasn't suspended. And,
Right.
oh my God. And that cost me $800 and a whole couple of days in court. Then now when they look up my driving record, it says I've had a driver's license for 3 months.
So they think that you just got your driver's license at 47 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't drive until you've had a year of driving, at least. And my first thought was, I am not letting a 17-year-old kid drive Uber.
Yeah.
A year of driving? Are you serious? But I was like, no, dude, I have more than a year of driving.
Well, the funny thing about that is you, if I'm not mistaken, you actually started driving before you had a driver's license.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been driving longer than almost anybody. But I mean, anybody who's 47 years old, most people
who got their license
at 16, 15 or 16.
14 or 15, yeah.
Yeah, depending on the state. And you started like, what, 13?
Yeah, 13 years old.
13 years old. So you have an extra year on people. Yeah. You're the most experienced guy that could possibly have. Yeah. You should have told him that, except for it probably wouldn't have helped you.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mother used to throw me the key. I was like, I got to go to driver's ed. I'm going to be late. She's like, here. She gave me the keys. And I drive to driver's ed. And I had to park like 2 parking lots over so they didn't see me drive myself.
They should, if you can drive yourself to driver's ed, they should go, hey, just sit at the back of the class. You can sleep through this whole thing. Great. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I'm going to take your money.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to take your money.
And obviously you can drive.
But
so
you
that
don't have,
part's going to be easy.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything.
So the point is, I had to go get all this record crap. And it took forever. And I finally got it all. And I got it sent to them. And they said, okay, you could drive. Great. So I get on there and I get my car all cleaned and detailed, the wife's car, get all set up, and I go out and I hit the go because it's a little app that comes up on your phone, mm-hmm. And you hit go and the little go spins around and it pops back up to say go again. And it says you are offline. And I'm like, what the shit balls?
Yeah.
So I hit go and I hit go and I hit go. And I'm like, why is this not working? And I'm like, is I'm in a bad area? So, man, I'm driving like I drive out to Lee Summit. Nothing. I drive over to Independence. You know what I mean? I drive because I started here at the house. And I drive, out towards Overland Park area, and I'm pushing the thing and nothing's happening. And my first thought was nobody in Grandview can afford a damn Uber.
I was about to say that. I was like, maybe you just needed to go to a better class of neighborhood.
Right.
Where
but
they
I tried that.
Where they can afford smartphones in the first place. Nobody's ordering Uber on their Nokia Razr.
Actually, no. See, I've done a lot of stuff in Grandview now.
Yeah.
So, no. I'm furious. Like, why would this work? So... And getting a hold of someone at Uber to ask them is not easy.
Right.
So all kinds of stuff. So I'm thinking, well, my phone sucks. Mm-hmm. My phone's okay, but like my service plan sucks, So I go to T-Mobile and I throw a fit at them. And they said, okay, here, if you change your plan, we'll make sure you don't run out of high-speed data anymore because I hate that. And I told her, I said, look, I listen to Pandora constantly. And I'm about to start driving for Uber. I don't ever want to get this stupid text message that says you are now past your high-speed data for the month.
Yeah. And
for the next 3 weeks, you're going to have to probably not listen to Pandora. I don't want that message.
So you get that message, and what I think is funny is on Android phones, not iPhones. It's the one thing that I really like about iPhones over other Android phones is you can pump up the volume as much as you want on an iPhone. They don't warn you. They don't give you a message.
Oh, it doesn't come on and say.
No, on Android phones, though, it's like you turn it up and they're like, hey, caution, you might have hearing damage, which is a thing you have to push to continue to listen to music. So there are so many people, you realize this, Android, so many people listen to me, Mr. I don't know, you don't have a Steve Jobs or Tim Apple or whatever.
Tim Apple.
Billy Android, listen to me, you piece of crap. You're killing people. Because they're driving their cars.
Trying to turn up the radio. Because that's my jam,
It gets the message. They have to stop what they're doing and then hit the button
to say, okay.
And when they look up, they're driving ass deep into a semi. They're dead now. Yeah. I hope you're happy, Billy
Happens
Android.
every day.
You killed
several
at least
times
one person.
a day. Yeah.
At least
several
one person
times a day sometimes.
is dead because you're trying to protect our precious hearing. Well, he was decapitated, but at least he left with good ears.
His hearing wasn't damaged at all.
Asshole.
Well, I mean, it was damaged a little by the gear shift going through his ear. But
Billy
other than
Android.
that,
I hate you so much.
Billy Android. You're a dick, Bill. So anywho's, so yeah, I'm thinking it's my plan. The thing won't work. I go and I fight with T-Mobile. And they put me on the plan where they're like, that's never going to happen again. There's no chance that you're ever going to run out of high-speed data. So I turned off the Wi-Fi and I abuse it. Like, I'm going to find out where the limit is. Yeah. I haven't found it yet.
Haven't found it.
So anyhow, and it only changed by like $25 a month, our thing. And they were like, and because you're a sucker and you like shiny things, we're going to throw in this tablet. And I'm like, fine, I'll take the tablet. It's mine now. They're like, yeah, we were giving it to you anyways. Like, oh, I'm not giving it back.
Yeah.
So anyways, so now I have a tablet and I have a new plan and I get all that set up and I put the Uber on the tablet because it's bigger. I can see it better, and then I can mount it in here. And then that was the whole thing, trying to mount it in the car and I get it all set and I go out and I hit it and nothing. It just go, no, and no. And so it says, select a vehicle to drive. And I'm like, you're kidding me. Because I've gone through all this different stuff in the app. And I'm like, it says I'm selected right here. That's my vehicle.
So let me just recap. Okay. You tried to sign up for Uber.
Right.
You had a whole bunch of problems with your driving record.
Right.
And they're like, okay.
You go do your own background check.
Yeah, and then you did that and you got cleared.
Right.
Then you take your Honda Element out.
Right.
As an Uber X car. And you think that the problem is you don't have enough data to do it.
Right, because
so
I haven't seen it work one time.
So you go to T-Mobile to get it.
Fix it.
Fix it. They fix it. So now you have unlimited data.
Right.
So now you get in your wife's Honda Element to drive for Uber, thinking everything is fixed.
Right.
And then it still won't work.
And it still won't work.
Right.
I hit the button and it says no. And so I'm going through all the settings and like, what the hell? Why won't this work? And I'm checking to see if I've gotten an email back from service, because anything that says contact us directly is for like an accident or for there's a man in my back seat with a hatchet and I'm not sure if I should take him where he wants to go or not.
You better take him where he wants to go. Why do you think he brought the hatchet?
I don't think it's a tree chopping convention. So finally, so I call it. Well, I tried to add like it's already in there, but did I do it wrong? And so I finally call, and I get a hold of this woman, and she's like, "Oh, well, you've got the vehicle in here twice. That's why." And I'm like, "Are you sure that's why?" And she's like, "Yeah." So she takes it off. She does this thing. She's like, "You should be fine now." And I'm like, "Okay." Nothing. Still won't work. And this is like a couple of days, and I'm freaking out about why am I the one person that is unable to sign up for Uber?
That goes through my mind too. And anytime I can't do something,
like
every idiot in the world can do this. Why can't I? I'm not stupid. So the problem is God must hate me. that's what it is. Because
obviously,
right? Because honestly, when I wish I were stupid. Because if I were stupid, I would just go
stupid. I can help you with that.
Right? If I were
some drugs and stuff, and you'll be stupid in no time.
I would just be like, oh well, obviously I can't do this because I'm a flaming idiot.
See, that's always where I jump to. But obviously, this is me.
No, but I'm not an idiot. It's just that God hates me and doesn't want me to be able to do this.
Well, and what's funny about that is I use that all the time in my life, and on the other side of, like you said, everybody else can do it.
Yeah.
Like first time I got a tattoo, and I was like, it's gonna hurt. I'm afraid. And I think of all the just wussy little idiots that have tattoos.
Get tattoos. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I could get a tattoo.
Right.
That kind of stuff. I helped a friend of mine start driving, and I said to him, think about this. The dumbest fucking person you know. The one person you know that you're like, how do they even get through a day? That person drives. So anybody can do it. But when you're driving, keep in mind that person's probably in the car next to you.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah, you should be terrified of that person and inspired at the same time.
right, and just relax and drive. It's a thing everybody does. Just keep in mind that that person next to you has no idea how not to mouth breathe. So,
what are these for? These two up here.
They get boogers in
They
them.
get boogers. Oh, that's my booger factory. That's thank God for that. Otherwise, I'd run out of food on long trips.
That's my cocaine input.
So that's more offensive. What we just said was more offensive.
I know.
Than any F-bomb we could throw. Anyway, go ahead. Booger factory. Jeez. So you get in the car.
So here again, same thing. I get in the car. I'm trying. I can't make the app work. It's obviously not me now, and they've helped me, and it still didn't work. And so I try to get a hold of somebody, and I finally get this man, and I am at the point that I literally want to like pull somebody across the counter and slap them. I'm like, is there an Uber office? Like, where do I go? And because I'm like, this is ridiculous, and I'm just losing my. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this where I'm going to get this done. So I get this dude on the phone. He has an accent. I believe him to be in India, maybe. Mm-hmm. I do not think in any way he was in the United States or knew much about, especially the Midwest. So I get this man on the phone, and he's like, hello, may I help you? And I said, or he said, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. It's like, my day's going great. Look, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I'm having some trouble. And I just went to the nicest, most ridiculous, over-the-top, polite, and just, that is wonderful, dude. Thank you so much.
You know what I love about you?
What?
Is most people, when they're angry, their dark place is a place of rage and concentrated fury. When you get angry, your dark, scary place is being nice.
Well, at that point,
your dark, scary place is like, you know what? I'm so angry, I'm going to have a pleasant tone of voice.
I am. And I'm going to get through this because I need to get through this. And so this guy, like a couple of times, stops and goes, thank you so much for being so understanding.
Right. Sure.
And I'm like, no problem, buddy. You take your time. Like, he's like, I'm going to have to put you on hold. I'm like, fantastic. That's great. So anyways, he and I are going through this, and like, he's going through everything, and he's asking me questions, and I'm verifying stuff, and we're going through all this. And somewhere I hear the word Kansas, and I go, wait a minute. Technically, my feet are in Missouri. And he's like, I don't understand. And so I go through all this stuff to explain to him that he's like, I don't understand. I said, I go through all this stuff to explain to him that there's two states. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's Missouri, there's Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. They're next to each other. They're the same thing, but technically, you know what I mean?
So the whole time, they thought you were in Kansas because you're in Kansas City.
Right.
Oh, my God.
So they didn't look at that because they ask you, like, what city are you driving in?
Right.
Kansas City.
They don't ask you the
if
state?
I was in Chicago, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I was in St. Louis, okay, it would in St. Louis.
Yeah, because you're right.
Because the only decent cities in Missouri are on the very edge because we don't want to get in there.
Columbia's okay.
Yeah. So the point is...
Sorry to everybody else, by the way. Everyone else in Missouri who listens to this podcast.
You know where you live.
We like you, but your towns are hot, flaming garbage fires.
And, terrifying speed traps. So the point is... So, we go through all this, and what basically comes down to, according to this man, and it took me a long time to get him to understand 2 states, 1 city. I even went through, there's a road called State Line. On one side, it's Missouri. On the other side...
So he just doesn't understand how states work?
Well, no, he does, but how could you be in 2 states at the same time? Yeah, you know what I mean? And all this, how is 1 city 2 states?
I never thought that... I always thought this was like a joke that people made, like, Kansas City, but it's in Missouri. That's confusing.
No, everybody...
like in 100 Ways to Die in the West, they joke about that.
Right.
But this was literally a problem where
for
this
a
guy...
man in India,
thought that you were... Oh, my God.
for me to explain to a man in India. Like, he went back and looked up my address.
Yeah.
Verified my address.
So are you telling me that anybody who Ubers in the Kansas City area, Uber initially thinks that they're in Kansas?
I have no doubt that people who work at Uber, who own Uber,
Yeah.
know exactly where Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri is.
Right.
The problem that I was facing is the people that deal with the
specific-
details.
Right. They have no idea.
Right. And not
They're
actually
overseas.
from this country.
Yeah.
The
I don't know who should be more insulted. People from Kansas City for thinking that they're in Kansas, or people
Right.
in Kansas who think that you dredges from across the state line, you dripping monkey socks are actually from Kansas, and how dare they?
So
I'm pure Johnson County, baby. I've got cake in my veins.
good God.
I really need to see a doctor,
Jake-
but I don't have health insurance, so no, I do until the end of the month.
Little
Anyway.
Wilford Brimley going on. So
Yeah. Got brimstones.
so we go through all this and we finally get to, you know, Kansas and Missouri, two cities, or two states, one city. And he says,
I didn't mean to do that. But it fit. I didn't mean to do that, but it fit.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway.
It was information.
Yeah.
So he says to me, the problem is that every time you've tried to use this, you've been in Missouri.
Mhm.
And according to what I'm seeing, Missouri says that a Honda Element is a 2-door car. And you have to have a 4-door car to drive for Uber.
Right.
But Kansas has it listed as a 4-door car.
Because it is.
So if you could drive over to
Family
Kansas and try it there, I'm sure you won't have any problem. So I get all set up again. I load all my stuff up in the car in the Honda Element. I drive over to Kansas because it's going to work in Kansas because the guy told me it's going to work in Kansas.
Sure.
I was on the phone with them for almost an hour making sure everything's good and we're clear.
Yeah.
Get over to Kansas, same thing. Push a button, it goes, pip, nothing. I go back through all the stuff in the app and it says, select your vehicle. And I'm like, what the hell? So at this point, I've decided it can't be me. You know what I mean? There's still that question in my mind. It's something I'm doing because the guy said it's fine.
Right.
But I'm like, it can't be me. It has to be this Honda Element.
What was that? It didn't record, so don't worry about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyways, in the meantime, while all this is going on, I now own a new car.
Yeah, you're
New to me.
Right.
My dad bought it for
you a
me,
new
which
car.
was a whole
But the
weird thing.
hilarious thing is he bought you a new car, but it's the same car that you already had. It's
Right.
a Toyota Scion, but it's black instead of silver,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Well, it's really dark blue.
It's really dark.
It's very dark blue.
It's
very
like it's a
lovely.
very fashionable hearse.
So yeah, like the brave little toaster is dead with a hole in the motor, sitting out in the country, rusting quietly.
Right.
Oh, I guess plastic doesn't rust.
Yeah.
And I'm freaked out because I have no car and I can't get this Uber thing going. And in the meantime, my father goes and buys another Scion, an 06,
Yeah.
and calls me up and is like, we bought your car. And at first I was kind of pissed. I'm like, whoa. I'm 47 years old and you just went out and bought me a car. You didn't even talk to me, no.
Yeah.
And so I'm telling my wife, and actually he didn't call me. He called my wife.
Yeah, probably because he wanted to test the waters first.
Right.
To make sure that you wouldn't flip out and be like, how dare you?
And so
I'm a grown man, sort of.
Sort of.
I'm as adult as, you can be. Nobody's really an adult.
No.
Except for your dad.
Except for my father.
Yeah, your dad's
So I'm like, I'm all upset about it. And she's like, okay, I'll talk to him. Because basically I'm like, no, I don't want your damn car.
Yeah.
I really need the car and I really want it. But
I need
no,
it. I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
And so she calls my father's house when I'm not home later and talks to my stepmother. And she's like, he's not okay with it like I thought he would be. And my stepmother says, explain to him that my father has two other sons that, that grew up in his house.
Yeah.
I grew up in my mother's house. And she said, explain to him that both his younger brothers went to college without any student debt, didn't work while they were in college, had an apartment, everything taken care of.
Because they took care of it.
Because we paid for all that.
Right.
Let us buy you a car.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think sometimes, Rod, you let pride get in your way.
I have never heard of anyone ever doing that.
And I know
That
you're
is
famous
silly.
for saying $20 is
Hey,
$20. You'll
is
do
$20,
whatever.
yeah.
But I don't believe that about you. You do. You let pride get in the way of. And I'm guilty of this too. Like, I'm in a situation now where there's lots of people who are reaching out trying to help me.
Right.
And my initial instinctive reaction is to go, I don't need your help.
Yeah. You know what you
Why
can do
would you
with
think
that?
I would need
Right.
your help? I'm my own man. I worked really hard.
So what you're saying is
I'm
obviously
really good.
you're
Yeah,
not
obviously,
smart enough to take care of
obviously,
your own life.
I suck, and people wouldn't just want to come to me.
Right.
It has to be, you have to help me. But I crush that instinct down under a pack-filled sock of rage, and go, oh, thank you. I appreciate that so
need
much.
that
Thank you.
so
I really
much.
need that because if you're at a point in your life where we're at right now,
Yeah.
you need to start distinguishing what you need and what you want. What you need is a car. What you want is to be able to buy it yourself.
Right. That's not going to happen.
But you need it,
Yeah.
and that needs to come first.
So yeah. So I get the Scion from my father, and it was funny because it's the same car.
Same car.
And what I understand from him is they went to the lot to see what there was, what it would cost, to look into maybe picking up Rod a new car.
Right.
And when they got there sets this really dark blue, really good shape Scion. And basically my father's like, well, I know I like that one because I love my car. I always had. So anyways, I get the car. It's awesome. It's so much nicer than mine. Has less than half the miles, and anyways, I'm thrilled. I contact Uber. This is my car. This is the tags. This is the registration. Here's all the, doors. And they're like, great. You're approved. Start driving.
Okay.
So then I contacted Lyft. Because when I went to go sign up for Lyft, they were like, a Honda Element? No.
Yeah.
Which would have been great if Uber had done that.
Right.
So Lyft was like, Scion? Sure, yes. So I got signed up for both, got them all set up, went out, and it went fine. I started giving people rides, and it's cool. So I've done it a few times. I know how to do it. I get it. I have a buddy who, his name's Bill the Uber Dude.
Yeah.
So he knows a thing or two. I posted it on Facebook yesterday and Twitter, and I got all kinds of responses from people saying, hey, dude, I drive. Let me give you a couple tips. So that's really cool. I've learned some things I didn't know. So hopefully
Yeah.
I can go out and start making money.
What's the number to contact you?
I have let me make sure because I'm going to lie to you and tell you the wrong number.
Uh-huh.
I know there's like a 7 in it. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Give somebody else's number.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. No, it's my tablet. And my tablet can accept and receive text, but it can't accept and receive phone calls.
Right.
Or accept and
Yeah, whatever.
make
So you
phone
can
calls.
get text to your tablet
Right.
and the number.
So that's why I was like, hey, use this number. That is
Yeah.
816-745-1711.
So if you want Rod
You can
to
text
pick
me.
you up and drive you around, you text him, he shows up.
816-745-1711.
The way it's supposed to work is you show up and then they go to Uber and you're the closest
Right.
driver. So
because
then
the
you can take
Uber and Lyft both goes to wherever you are and you say, I need a ride from here. Their computer finds the very closest driver available and gives it to them.
Right.
So I go to your house. You then say, I need an Uber. By setting, on the street outside, I am the very closest driver. Bing, it goes to me. I take you wherever you want to go. Uber gets paid. You get a Lyft. I get paid. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's kind of what I was like, I'll try this, see what happens.
Now, the problem you're having, and maybe the 11 can help you out with this, the problem you're having is you need to come up with like a cool nickname for it because there's.
Well, my buddy has Bill the Uber Dude.
Bill the Uber
and he's
Dude.
got a little card and
Right.
stuff. Bill the Uber Dude.
So,
like, I
the
want a
problem
card.
with your name is your name sounds like sex.
My name is Filthy. So,
Right. Yeah.
we've always joked my name should have been Penis McPenis because Rod Babcock is Penis McPenis.
Right.
So, I was like, I got to have it like, there's already a Uber Dude. I can't be that because that's Bill the Uber Dude. So, you know what? I got to have a little handle. So, I thought, like, Rides on Rod. Well, that sounds like a porn.
Yeah.
Like an porn amusement park.
Right. There's something about alliteration in names that always makes you think of porn.
Right. So when you see like Rod rides, no.
Yeah.
No, ride with Rod. Ride on a rod?
Right.
Rides on Rod. No, see all that.
I thought a great one was no gridlock Babcock. But you immediately started laughing angrily at me and said no.
It's kind of weird.
No, it's great. It's perfect. You need to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it sounds like U-turn Vern. It's just I don't like it. It's not good. So I thought instead of ride, I'll go with drive.
Yeah.
But Rod driver or driving Rod still sounds filthy. And if I use my last name, then yeah, there's cock in it.
Why did you say cock like that?
That's how you say it.
It's cock. No, you don't. You don't have to.
Oh, yes, my name's Rod Babcock.
Right. Coming up on the Jonathan Weir Show podcast, we are
if you have a name, send it to me.
Yeah, if you have a name, send it to Rod through
Better
Facebook.
than Gridlock Babcock.
Or I don't know how you're going to beat that one.
That's awful.
Posted to the Jonathan Weir Show Facebook podcast listener Facebook group. You can post us anything there. There you go. When we get back, we're going to have a very special guest.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
The Jonathan Weir Show.
Let's talk about our buddy Cody Akins at AkinsPCRepair.com. He is not a sponsor of the show, but he is lending us his laptop, and I felt like because my show was canceled, it left not only me in the lurch, but also Cody because he was enjoying.
It was actually having advertising on our show.
Yeah, it was advertising on our show, but I know a lot of the 11 were responding to those ads, so I just kind of wanted to keep it going because we're good friends.
Okay, the truth here is Jonathan can't do this without taking a commercial break. So we're going to make it.
I went 37 minutes before we went to a commercial break. So anyway, AkinsPCRepair.com. He's just go to his website. You see he has all these really cool cell helmet products. You have a cell helmet product, right? I do too. They're the screen protectors.
Oh, I was going to say, what is that?
The screen protectors.
Is that the condoms he sold me?
Listen to this. Listen. See, I dropped my phone.
Yeah.
It works fine.
I have dropped
still working
my
fine.
phone. In fact, I will tell you
through your phone
that these screen protectors are so good.
Yeah.
That previously I had a screen protector that cracked. The screen protector itself cracked.
Yeah.
Not the screen. Like within 72 hours of purchase.
Right.
He put one on my phone through a strange, weird set of circumstances. My phone flew across the room and embedded in a sheetrock wall.
So not like because you were having some kind of tantrum.
No. There was a pitching machine. You know what? It's a long story. So the phone went across the room at a high velocity and embedded itself in a sheetrock wall. I knew right away that phone was no longer going to be of any use to anyone.
Yeah.
It's fine. Didn't even have a scratch on it.
Didn't have a scratch on it.
It's
not
brilliant.
saying that you should do that with your phone if you buy a cell helmet. We're just saying that Rod did, and his is fine. Just like I would say my dog shouldn't eat raisins,
but
can. Right? So anyway,
you know what?
AkinsPCRepair.com.
Your dog's weird in the head now.
He was always weird. He also has tons of refurbished computers for really good deals if you are in the market for a new computer but don't want to spend a lot of money. AkinsPCRepair.com. Make my computer guy your computer guy at AkinsPCRepair.com. So Rod had to take an Uber drive. As you heard, he has had quite the odyssey trying to set up his Uber, so it was very important to him when he got a request for a ride that he go and do it. And he might be upset right now, but time is kind of the essence, and we need to get to something. We need to get to Rebecca Crockett's Celebrity Rocket.
So this is gossip. Well, that's pretty good.
Blast off!
Hey, Rebecca! Rebecca, what's up?
Hey, Jonathan.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am miserable, but you know what? The good thing about my personality and how I am all of the time is that this is normal for me. Like, wouldn't it be weird if I was in a good mood?
Sometimes you're in a good mood, and like sometimes you'd like hum or you would whistle when
Yeah.
you'd walk into a room, and then that sounded like you were in a good mood, and I don't
No.
hear that anymore,
No,
and
no,
it
no.
makes me sad.
See what you? Oh, I'm so. Please don't. You cried enough on your own podcast.
I haven't cried for like days now. So
I'm glad you're over it. Jeez.
I'm doing good.
I want to say though that as far as the whistling and humming when I go from room to room is concerned, that was to keep the demons at bay. Because as you know, if there's any silence in my life, it is untenable and terrifying to me. And I lived as a child with the secret fear that if I was quiet or there was silence around me for more than 10 seconds, goblins would appear out of the ground. You remember the movie Ghost where they like pull the guy underground, those like the dark shadow goblins? The shadow goblins would grab me and pull me underground
Okay.
and kill
Wow.
me.
That
Yeah.
just got really dark.
Yeah, it did. But don't you miss that? I think
Hey.
radio is really missing that kind of energy.
You want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
I'm the only news reporter that outlived the Jonathan Wier show.
Wow, that is a good point.
Uh-huh.
You
I did
yes.
it. I did it.
Yeah, you're the last man
I shut down
standing.
the Jonathan Wier show.
You know, like, yeah. Wow. It's like it was this mythical boss in a video game that so many people had tried to defeat, but kept getting cast asunder. But
I did
you
I did
managed
it.
to actually
It was like the train
outlive
level.
the Jonathan. Yeah, it was the train level. Yeah, the little train that killed. And
Okay, but it's not about that right now. It's
I'm
time for the
proud of
celebrity
you.
rocket.
Well, you know, the good thing about the podcast is it doesn't matter how long we go or whatever. There's no like time limit on this or anything. You can just talk and talk, whatever. Who cares? It's not like the sponsors are going to be mad because we didn't go to the break quick enough. But yes, let's go to the celebrity rocket.
Okay, so guess who topped the box office this week?
I am going to guess that it was not yesterday.
It was
I'm
not
also going to
yesterday.
guess that it wasn't Steel Magnolias.
Of course.
I'm going to guess it was Spider-Man Far From Home.
It was Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
93.6 million.
Wow.
Up to 185.1 million since hitting theaters on Tuesday. Did
How
you go
much?
see this yet?
Yes, I did. How much did it make?
$185.1 million.
My God. Now, granted, they're going to say it's a weekend total, but it was released on Tuesday, which I know because after getting fired, I took my son to go see the movie.
You went straight there. Did you cry, Jonathan?
During the movie?
About the movie. Not your
no,
job, about
no.
the movie.
No, I didn't cry at the movie. I've not cried about my job. I've cried about missing certain people and not being able to see them every day, but I still have a job.
Okay, but that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, but I didn't cry during the movie. I loved the movie. I thought the movie was very funny, and I was really excited to see it because I was like, after Endgame, what the hell are they going to do? Like, how are they going to handle the fact that they just had the most climactic, giant superhero fight of all time? And I thought that this was a great follow-up to that. It did not let me down. It was very funny. It was exactly what was needed, by the way, after Endgame, which was pretty dark. It was very lighthearted and very fun.
Yeah. You know what came in second?
What?
Toy Story 4.
Of course it did.
Did you go see that one yet?
I did not, and I really should, but I only have.
I hear it will make you cry.
Yeah, but every Toy Story movie say that it's going to make you cry, and they do. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that every Toy Story movie is supposed to make you cry. Biggest that needs to be a list sometime. Maybe never. But list of biggest cry moments from movies, like moments that made you just go no, because we wouldn't be able to get through that. We could do like a top 4 or top 8 of that. But in Toy Story 2, where it's the song by Sarah McLachlan about being left behind, or When She Loved Me, that's the song. Like, what were you doing? Were you really the stock of Zoloft and Prozac just went through the roof after that movie was released? Because everybody in the theater was crying when that song came on. And I didn't have the experience of being a child's toy left underneath a bed until I collected dust and then she got rid of me. But I did have the experience of, well, Tuesday.
Hey, now would be a great time to do a list of songs that make you cry.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be. I'm not doing that. I actually said on the podcast on Friday night, on Friday night's podcast, I was like, I can't have my playlist on shuffle anymore. It's dangerous because this song by Ben Folds came on. The song is called Fred Jones Part 2, and it's all about this guy getting fired. And it's a very somber, like, for 29 years he's worked at the paper. No man's there to take him downstairs. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Even the Maroon 5 song made you cry.
Yes, it did, but not because it's a good song or because of anything to do with Maroon 5. It just made me cry. Because it made me think of you.
Because it made you think of me.
Because it made me think of Rebecca.
You know what didn't make me cry?
What?
The movie Yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, 10.8 million. It's
we're back
3.
to this, are we? Okay. Transitions. I love them.
I'm done hearing you talk about crying, Jonathan.
Yes, me too. Yesterday did very well at the box office. 10 point what million?
I don't know. I already changed screens. It was 10 point something million. And
but
it was such a good movie. It was just
good.
such a lighthearted, fun movie.
See,
like if you just want to just have a good time and not have to think too much. It was great.
Here's what I worry about with that is I like the Beatles, and you know this. I like and love the Beatles almost too much to go see a movie about the Beatles. I always have this problem.
But it's not about the Beatles at all. It's about how the Beatles
were
don't
forgotten.
exist.
Okay.
Yes.
But then he has to remind people by playing all these Beatles songs.
Okay, well, the best part about it is that there's no documentation of these Beatles songs.
Yeah.
So he has to try to remember them from memory.
Okay.
And so he's like going back through them over and over trying to remember what the lyrics are.
Oh,
and
this
he's,
would
like,
be torture for me. No.
Oh my gosh, it's
Oh
so
my God.
awesome.
No. This would be torture for me because I would be watching it the whole time just screaming internally, "No, it's not Hey Jew. What the hell does that even mean?"
It's Hey Dude.
Hey boob. Remember when Paul McCartney wrote a song about a boob?
No, you have to go see this movie.
All right.
Okay,
What else?
Snoop
What else you got?
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Do you know that he has smoked pot?
I am familiar with Snoop Dogg. I'm familiar with his work, and I'm familiar with the fact that he also smoked pot. Yes.
Well, he smoked so much pot, he doesn't remember who all he smoked pot with. And somebody posted a picture of him smoking pot with Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
Who's like one of your faves.
One of my favorite musicians as a person. He was detestable, but yes.
Yeah, and Snoop Dogg saw this picture, and he was like, "Young dog with Kurt, 92."
No.
Yeah, he reposted
He smoked
it on
so much pot
Instagram.
he forgot who he smoked pot with.
Yeah, and then the guy that made the picture was like, "When you make Snoop think he's smoking with Kurt in 92," along with several laugh emojis.
Yeah, no. You know what the end of that sentence is?
Picture.
You know what the end of that sentence is? When you make Snoop think that he smoked pot with Kurt in 1992, the end of that sentence is Snoop needs to go get his brain massaged and stop smoking pot for at least 10 seconds to maybe let himself regenerate some brain cells.
Okay, in Snoop's defense, he probably smoked pot with a whole lot of celebrities.
Yeah, but you would think he'd remember.
He also could have smoked with Kurt. There just might not be a picture of it.
But because that was definitely photoshopped. I just, it's not so much that I couldn't see Snoop Dogg smoking with Kurt. I just don't think I could see Kurt smoking weed with Snoop Dogg, mostly because I think at that point Kurt was like, yeah, marijuana's great. I'm going to go inject heroin into my eyeballs simultaneously.
That's true. He did go next level with the drugs.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
right,
you want to talk about Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio?
DiCaprio. No, I don't, but I have a feeling like I don't have a choice.
Okay, this is all about streaming services. One of them is completely okay with it. The other one is not so sure about it. Which one do you think is okay with it?
Which one do I think is okay with the streaming service?
Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I would think Brad Pitt's older, so he probably doesn't like streaming services, whereas Leonardo DiCaprio is younger and is like, I'm hip, I'm with it.
You're
I'm
wrong,
groovy.
Jonathan.
Wow. Okay.
Brad said, I'm curious to see what the future of movies is, what shape it takes. I really appreciate the streaming services because we're seeing more and more quality projects being made. And then DiCaprio's like, movies aren't good anymore, and studio system is broken, and corporations have taken over the artistic vein.
Did he end every sentence with man? Because it really sounds like a man.
It's not written that he did, but I am going to assume he did.
Okay, all right.
Man. That's why so much talent is moving to streaming services, man. So they can do creative stuff, and that wouldn't otherwise be in theaters or on TV, man.
I don't really believe it. I don't really believe that. I know what he's talking about, but I think he's just expressing his personal fears about what might happen to him, because he's like, I'm in these big movies directed by people like Quentin Tarantino and Martin Scorsese, and I'm worried that less people are going to go see these movies now because there's so much stuff to stream at home. But I don't think that the democratization of entertainment that has happened because of the digital media revolution is necessarily a bad thing, because while there are more options now, everyone would also have to admit the quality of those options isn't great, right? I mean, there's lots of other podcasts out there, but how many of them are the quality of the Jonathan Wier Show podcast? Very few of them.
Exactly.
There's a lot of movies out there, but how many are as good as Spider-Man Far From Home, or I guess Yesterday?
I haven't seen the Spider-Man movie yet. I
thought you had.
It's great, though.
It's really good. You'll love it.
No, I haven't had time.
Yeah, that's right.
Busy.
You have a job.
That is right. I do still have a job.
You know what?
I was gone most of last week. Today's like my first real day back.
Mostly because your eyes were so swollen you couldn't read news copy.
That's exactly it.
It's true.
And I thought I was going to cry when I started reading, and so just wasn't even going to go there.
Oh my goodness. So I don't remember what we were talking about. We were
talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Because I think that there's a middle ground somewhere that exists where, we used to be way too selective about what movies came out, to the point where to get into a movie you had to just be a kiss-ass artist to everybody in Hollywood, and you had to be terrified of pissing off the industry, and it was almost conspiracy levels of like, this producer let this woman into the movie because he was having sex with her, and that's why she's a big star. Talking about Meryl Streep, because we all know she doesn't have any talent. Anyway.
Wait, did you just say Meryl Streep doesn't have any talent?
Yes, I did, but I'm taking it back. My point is that sucked. That kind of stuff was bad for movies, and it led to great. There were great movies in the 70s and 80s, but I think now it's better than ever because so many people get to put their stuff out there and get seen by somebody who's a bigwig in the industry, who then goes, you know what, that guy made a really cool little film. I'm gonna give him the next big Marvel film. For instance, Taika Waititi. He's the guy whose name is not made up. That is his name. He's from New Zealand, and he directed this great film from 2014 called What We Do in the Shadows. It's a really funny movie about vampires, and it's basically like Real World or The Office if it was based around vampires. It's really funny. One of my favorite movies. It was just a little film, though, a little independent film. That movie caught the eye of somebody at Marvel. Taika Waititi was then taken on to direct the movie Thor. So my point is, there's more options out there now than ever, but at the same time, it allows people to get their voices out and maybe get picked up by those bigwigs that Leonardo DiCaprio thinks are so important.
I dazed out a little bit there while you were talking.
Okay. You missed it.
That was a lot.
You missed it. All right, you got anything else?
Ariana Grande.
Who?
Ariana Grande.
I'm going to ask you again to start saying names of people that I know. Ariana Grande, sure. The Pete Holmes, Butthole Eyes.
His ex-fiance is Ariana Grande. She cried during her show in St. Louis on Saturday.
Oh, well, because she was in St. Louis. Is that what happened?
No, it wasn't that at all. Ariana's just dealing with some stuff.
You know what? That was mean of me to say. Not towards St. Louis because, but towards
you
Ariana.
Love St. Louis.
Yeah,
right?
sure. I'm from there, and there's a reason I don't live there. now. But not towards Ariana Grande, or not. I'm sorry, not towards St. Louis, because whatever. But Ariana Grande, because I actually do understand her having an emotional time.
Yeah, she's going through a lot right now. If anybody would understand that, that's you, Jonathan.
I don't care about what she's going through right now, but her concert was hit by a terrorist attack. So a
long time ago, not recently.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's
but
still
not
recent
like,
enough.
But not like the other day. That's
Point
not,
is,
you made it sound like she was crying because her concert got hit by a terrorist attack.
Okay.
That's not why she was crying.
Point
she's crying
is,
because she's still dealing with the emotions from that.
Yeah. I don't think you get over that right away.
Her breakup with
Butthole Eyes. You think that really okay? You think a breakup with Butthole Eyes is as bad as like 13 little girls dying at your concert?
Okay, I'm not saying it's as bad. I'm saying it's just another thing.
Okay.
Okay, so she's dealing with the emotions from that. She breaks off her engagement with Butthole Eyes. She's also dating Mac Miller at one point, who died when he was 26 of a drug overdose. And so that's
she's just the kiss of death.
Emotionally have something to do with this.
She should be under house arrest for the sake of society.
She's going to be okay. She just got emotional when she was singing a song at her concert, and that's okay, Jonathan. Sometimes people get emotional even when they're performing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I try to keep all emotion out of my performance, personally.
Right.
So what were people giving her crap about crying on stage?
Everybody's just speculating why.
Oh, of course, because they think it's all about Butthole Eyes. It couldn't possibly be because of the terrorist attack 2 years ago.
I think they're just speculating. There's something wrong with Ari, but Ari's going to be okay, guys.
Yeah.
She's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay.
Okay.
It's going to be fine.
Oh my God.
I'm fine, Jonathan.
I don't believe you.
Is Rod back from his Uber drive?
No,
yet?
he texted me 4 minutes ago saying he'd be back in 2 minutes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
At least he got a call for an Uber, so that's cool.
No, I'm happy for him. He's making money. That must be nice.
We'll be making money as soon as that one process is through.
Right. I don't think it's that quick either. I think he probably still has to wait like 2 or 3 weeks or something like that to get any money.
Yeah. All right, so now we're just gonna wait for Rod to get back.
Yeah. So how was the funeral in Omaha? How did that go?
There's something for casual conversation.
Yeah. So was the funeral like?
Funeral, was it lame?
Yeah. Was it one of those really boring funerals that we hear about all the time?
Yeah, I live chatted with you through.
Yeah. You Snapchatted me. Very morbid things.
All I'm saying is this is why I'm planning my own funeral.
Right. You know what? It's funny, though. We talked about that, and I think that is a great topic of discussion for some other time when we're not so depressed. But your funeral plans, like, and I'm not talking about the general you and the audience out there. I mean your funeral. Are you going to hold it on a train?
No, I want the Viking funeral. Remember? I've already talked about this with you.
Boat.
I want to be in like a wooden canoe full of flowers and then push me out on the water at sunset.
Yeah.
And then have somebody shoot the arrow and then I'll just go up in flames. But I understand that's not for everybody. So then I have another service planned for the people that can't handle seeing me go up in
You do plan on being dead first, right?
Mostly, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, though, no, that'd be a great way to go. Like,
sure.
just
bad enough. Just
dope me up real good. Put me on a boat.
I don't know.
Push me out and set me on fire.
Death is really the best way to die. I think I definitely want to be fully dead before the fire hits me.
All right, so we break your neck first, and then we put you on the
drowning.
boat.
I've almost drowned before, and that was quite soothing.
So we drown you in gaseline. Then because I don't think that would be as soothing.
I think
and then we put you on the boat, and then set you on fire. That's my plan for my funeral was I just want it to be the exact set of Nirvana Unplugged in New York. And
you sent me this picture, and it looks really extravagant.
Yeah, that's what I want. I spare no expense when it comes to my funeral. I mean,
And a little gothic.
the way things are going, I'm not going to have a lot of money when I die, so somebody else is going to have to pay for this. But that's what I want. I want a bunch of water lilies, a bunch of candles everywhere, floating candles on water, and I want the corpse of Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl, and Chris Novoselic
Okay.
to be there, propped
gonna
up,
be
playing
expensive,
songs.
Jonathan.
It won't be that expensive. Am I
get
not
their-
important?
To get their corpse flown in? No. Tribute
Okay,
band.
fine. Tribute band.
You can
Yeah.
have a tribute band.
Hey,
that
Rod's
way they
back.
can come. Yay!
Hey, Rod.
Rod's back.
Rod, hey, hold on. Let's cherish this moment.
Okay.
All of us are recording together into microphones for the first time
Gosh. I'm
in
gonna cry.
more than 2 months.
Wait.
Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you crying, Rebecca.
Are you crying? Stop crying.
Rod, hi, I love you. I miss you.
I've missed you too. I love you dearly. Stop crying.
Yeah,
It's
stop
annoying.
crying.
I'm not crying.
It's annoying.
I'm not crying.
Okay.
Hey, Rod, you
Yes.
want to hear something awesome?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
the only reporter that outlived the Jonathan Weir show. I shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah, you did.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is
Yeah, you know what? I
all
think you killed it. I think
You were
you.
talking about killing off all the reporters, and I was like, that's not how this is going down.
That's not. No, I
No.
will outlive. I will be at your funeral.
The two of you are out of here before me.
Rod, I also have bad
That's
news for
funny.
you.
What's that?
because time is kind of important. We recorded the Celebrity Rocket without you.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's
sorry.
your fault
Sorry.
for taking
Daddy-
an Uber job.
Daddy
or
gotta
the-
go make that money,
whichever-
baby.
But did Daddy make the
whichever
money?
one it was.
Daddy got to go make that money. Hey, I made $8 just now.
Woohoo!
Wow,
Yay.
that's less than minimum wage.
I'll
isn't it?
have you. It
does
was
that
only
count?
like 20 minutes. It was like 20 minutes.
It's $8 before gas, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And does
so-
that count the fees that you have to give to the
Uber?
No.
Uber Lyft?
Yeah. So
You
you,
know
made
what?
like $4.
You know what?
It's pretty good.
The two of yous could just stop sucking the air out of my balloon.
Does Uber have a good health insurance plan for you?
Really? You're such a dick.
Oh, I missed you guys so much.
So I'm back,
Yeah.
and you got to go, and this rocket's over, and we're done.
Pretty much. Yep.
No, we're
Son
gonna
of
play
a
a game,
bitch.
right?
No.
Can we play a game?
No, we're out of time.
No.
We'll do it Wednesday. Bye, Rebecca.
There's-
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Take this.
There's no clock, dude.
Goodbye.